into the lands of 180 control points to play with on this 3v3/4v4 map Town, and I absolutely adore this map. Everyone knows it. Look at the amount of houses which will probably be destroyed with any luck today. Our first player on the far right hand side, welcoming Infernum Catus, and in the middle, Towny. I'm liking his name already. It's all Japaneseified, and I like my animes. That leaves one person on the far left, Heinecore 2, which is a synonym for butt. For those people that aren't native English speakers, because I know there's quite a lot of them. It's a miracle, really, that war seems to bring us together. Just look at this loving scene right here. The Germans and the Soviets, side by side almost. I mean, not so much side by side as flinging bullets at each other and drinking grenades and having to toss them away from your comrades, but it's still together, close by. It's warm. Warm in like an explosive sense, but warm. Warm anyway. Heinecore has not diverted most of his soldiers to the far left-hand side. He seems to be working very closely to the center with Komtaru on this right-hand side. Look at this guy sprinting. He's been trained by the most epic of all epic forces, but somehow demoted as well into a standard squad, just a regular squad for him. We've got a half-track coming in, which is going to detonate this bike for sure. Infernum Catus sees it. He starts to pull out, but he's taking a lot of shots in the rear engine, and that engine is gone. The guys on there survive purely through luck. That is Blitz there with the half-track and the infantry running up to chuck a grenade. Those guys are prone behind that sandbag. They ain't able to fire, and as soon as they get up, they just take a bunch of bullets into the back. Not good for him. Blitz doing really well on that right-hand side. He's going to hold it and probably advance up. He's also in the center as well, inside that window. A key location for a machine gunner to be placed in, especially for the Germans with their Excellente MG42. It pretty much holds that area down. Complete lockdown of Panzer II Lukes. I am your father. Who's the daddy in this middle zone? It's a good position as well right there. Not really an easy shot for any sort of AT rifle to take, although it is now investigating into a discomfort zone, as I'd like to say. We've got a few casualties down here from Seth the Mighty, working on his right, our left, depending on which way the camera is facing around. I'm hoping people are getting more and more familiar with these maps, by the way. Heinecore on that elevated area there, also bringing in a half-track, which just gets taken out so easily by the Luke's I am your father. But his spacing on that elevated area is damn good. We got to get that infantry spacing out to minimize casualties from grenades, potential grenades, although it would be very difficult for advancing infantry to actually pop a grenade up there with the infantry actually looking down on them. We've got an AT set up. It detracts the Lukes. The Lukes is desperately trying to fire and decrew it. Doesn't look like it's getting the shot. The round pings off into the air, but still damages the crew and the Lukes, who eject now. It's still repairable. The engine's damaged. It's still repairable. It's still good. Hopefully he does continue to fire that AT gun and completely destroy it, because as you can see, it's going to come back up sooner or later. This half-track is doing very well to stay alive. Half-tracks from the German forces aren't the best type of half-tracks. They take it out by 50 caliber half-tracks. The Soviets, the British, and the American all have the same type half-track that was lent to, like, everyone. Just like, oh, where we have, like, half-tracks, have them! Take them off our hands. We have too many of them. The German half-track, however, was extremely diverse in the range of weapons attached to it. We've got a T-60 poking up on the field for Infernum Catus, and he disables the half-track relatively easily as well. Partisans moving up with a T-60. Don't expect the Partisans to kill anything, but the T-60 will be more than enough to take out all the infantry. Just let the Partisans spot. This is an odd area for combat to actually occur. Blitz has managed to push right up here, as expected from Blitzmetric. He is a very dominant player, very aggressive, and has excellent usage of light vehicles, as proved by that half-track early on. Don't look at that as like, oh, it died from a T6. Well, yeah, it was going to. It was still aggressive. It still managed to get his troops into that combat zone, first of all. He could even have AT there already. Heinecore with the second half-track this time round. Unless this was the first half-track was prepared, which I do believe it is. Heavy investments in half-tracks. You can see infantry is starting to move up here, and the Heine Corps is having to respond to it. He can't just lightly defend this area, otherwise what will happen is this soldier is facing completely the wrong way. His opponent will just move up there and take the zone and proceed to lock it down. And look at that arc of fire, that angle of fire. I don't know what you want to call it, line of fire. That German soldier snipes that guy in the face. Those of you that have been paying attention to the Gaming World, Company of Heroes 2 is announced. And it's going to have a thing called True Vision or True Sight, whatever you want to call it. Which we Men of War people already know what it's like, because like you just saw that guy firing through that window, or doorway and window through that building. Like, the infantry can just see like they should be seeing. There's no real invisible walls that I can truly think of. We had a heavy machine gun popped up here in the central location looking upon this flag. It has been taken out ever so easily. AT grenade going off on the Lukes to finally destroy it. That soldier continues to move forward, and oh look, the guy was there all along. What a Heidi soldier. I don't know how he sort of missed it, but again, another excellent example of true vision. Clearly that soldier was looking forward and he didn't notice an infantry soldier behind him. Also, a bad thing about the way Men of War does it is all soldiers share vision. It's like they all have, for those that have played Metal Gear Solid, oh, we are referring to so many games, the SOP, Metal Gear Solid 4, where all infantry seems to share sensors with these nano devices. That's sort of what like Men of War is. So we can sort of say that maybe in Men of War there were these nano machines, like in Metal Gear Solid 4. This is, by the way, a difficult location for infantry to engage. There's hardly any room to maneuver around, but easy to lock down with machine guns. We got 2 Panzer IVs on the field now. An unusual place to put a Panzer IV, I would say. Mithras, we have not mentioned you just yet. Welcome back to Men of War. You've been gone for a long time. And the Panzer IV, though, it's just, for me, it's asking for a bazooka, but there's hardly any bazookas around that I could see, which just goes to show you, yet again, get those bazookas. We could even hop inside this building and chuck an AT grenade down, which I think maybe that's what's going to happen. That soldier moved into that building, but no, it doesn't look like he is going into the window. This is just vital key knowledge of urban combat. Use these windows. You can fire bazookas out of them, you can fire AT grenades, anything you can find. You can just check out those windows quite easily, and it would just look absolutely fantastic. And the Panzer IV is firing onto this T-34 over here, and look at that, that's just like the narrowest gap you can fire through. The T-34 stands no chance because it's been tracked. It has to fire through this blasted building that's in the way. The engine's on fire, and usually when it's on fire there is absolutely no way to de-extinguish it, or extinguish it, or anti-extinguish the fire. Words, man, words. We still have these 2 Panzer IVs to deal with. This one's firing HE shells. The MG, the heavy machine gun, has managed to prop up sandbags as well. Excellent coverage there in the center for the Germans, but they don't control that zone just yet. But with those tools, they should be able to get control of it shortly as soon as they pour infantry into the zone. For the right-hand side, though, Blitz has been slightly pushed back. Still very much in control of the aggressor in this sector. Still moving up. You can see infantry crawling through the bushes as well. We have Volt on the field moving into the center. A good unit to have when you're supported by Panzer IVs and heavy machine guns. They are neutralizing that zone now and presumably capping it as well. It's hard to see who is actually gaining control of that flag when the flag is in the shrubbery and all the trees and the leaves are shrouding my view. Maybe something that could be improved upon if we were to go into sort of game criticizing review. Maybe we should have that little blinking light on the map screen. This little light AT gun is having a chance with the Panzer IV. The crew explode into oblivion. They are gone. The AT gun is also looking fairly destroyed. It's not on the map anymore, which indicates it can no longer be used. The house is also taking fire as well from the Panzer IV, which is just blasting out HE shells everywhere. Finally taking out that tree so we can see that the flag point is in the hands of the Germans. We have a PKP also held up on the right-hand side, avoiding fire from the Panzer IV. There's hardly anyone around here. There's a real lack of infantry in the middle right now. We need to get some more infantry squads for the Soviet forces. They've got to get there and get something to get rid of the Panzer IV. That's the critical thing right now that's holding them back. The left-hand side's looking, again, the same. It could probably use some support, assault support. We've got a heavy T-34 85 out now. Or more correctly, a heavier. It's much heavier than the T-34, the regular one. So this should have a good chance against that Panzer IV. As soon as it hits, gotta try and use that direct control, boys. That's the way to do it. We've got a 2-2 on the right-hand side as well. The motorcycle has just been left abandoned. That's never going to see any use again. The machine gun's been ripped off it as well. Comterie is trying his hardest to move up, and Blitz has been pushed back ever so slightly again from the last time we've seen him, but he's still the aggressor. Lots of heavy cover in this map, lots of places to hide. SMGs in key critical positions behind houses is the way to do it. You can see the machine gunner and guard sniper working side by side. Not the best place for a guard sniper, but these snipers, they will fire at a faster rate of fire when units get close to them. They aren't always using their aim shot ability. They're really good close range as well. Just make sure they're not being fired at. We also saw a KV-1 pop out. The Panzer IV again firing through that very slim gap. T-34 85 is also doing the same, getting some hits, but it's not penetrating. The rounds aren't going through. I don't know what Mithras really wants to do. He is trying to fight this one, but keeps moving forward and back. Honestly, he may as well just call losses here. The KV-1 moves in front of the T-34 85. I don't know why Comterie decided to do that, but the KV-1 is an excellent tank, especially for this map, especially for pushing. You just got to look out for those bazookas, but SMGs from the Soviets are really good at protecting and advancing. The huge magazine, the fast rate of fire, it's perfect for this map. Same goes for the MG42 from the Germans as well. It's perfect for locking down and stopping those assaults. So both sides in this map, there's swings and roundabouts. You know, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff. Mainly good stuff for both factions, and they've just got to work around it. The 222 is making a very aggressive play on the right-hand side for Blitz, but the T-60 blasts that. No more 222, that's gone. It's a very weak unit, very fragile. Two light vehicles, lots of light vehicles can kill it. Even a 50 cal can kill a 222 up close. But, having said that, what the hell has gone wrong here? I'd very much like to say that the KV-1 pushed that T-34 out of the way, but how has it ended up behind it? Maybe it dug up underneath it and flipped the T-34 over it, but still very, very strange. The house is mostly gone as well. Only a few more walls remaining on that one. Lots of German soldiers from Mithras have managed to come up on this elevated area, which is a huge vantage point, a huge flank as well. Those windows just across from this platform is a grand place to stick a machine gun. It will cover that top area pretty well. I can't say in confidence that nobody dies up there, but 4 windows, it's an enormous vantage point for them to use. It's just got to be identified. And even the door is on the opposite side of the window, so it's very easy to get inside those buildings. A huge thing with this map is a completely different fighting style to open ground. That's what we kind of used to in large player games, but this is town. This is where your urban fighting skills are put to the test. Apart from this right-hand side, which is fairly open, but there's still plenty of urban zones just to the left of this open field. Maybe if Infernum could have took advantage of that early on, Blitz's troop would have been caught in a crossfire, or there would be heavy urban combat in that zone to fend him off. Anyway, we've got more infantries lining up in the middle from Infernum Cactus, who's also helping out in the middle as well. All the players are all over the place. Oh, that looked like an amazing death. That guy got shot in the face and he just falls backwards from all the gravity happening to him. Oh, sweet, sweet death animations. We got guard rifles in the middle for the Soviets, and a Tiger appearing from Seth the Mighty, as well as a Stu-42 from the same person, Seth the Mighty. But what can you do with a Stu-42 in the middle of the zone? It's urban, HE shells, the arc of fire is not going to be as useful. The Stu-42 fires in a high arc, but all these buildings are going to be blocking most of the shots, so all it can do is fire pretty much in a line, unless it was used on the far left or right hand side where open ground is situated. This T-34-85 is actually taking its chances against the Tiger, and the Tiger hits the anti-tank trap. No idea where the shell went there, but the key thing for this 85 to do really is to just detrack it or something. It isn't going to win. The Stu-42 though manages to detrack the 85, which is now just prime positioned for the 85 to move in, but the Stu goes down. The 85 actually manages to kill it. Completely flat out, just gone. There's a P3 on the right hand side from Blitz as well. I don't know what that is an attempt at. The 85 could deal with that if it can just get repaired and survive long enough to maneuver out of the way of the Tiger. It's an excellent lineup for a Tiger shot. Straight into the side armor. Still having difficulty on this elevated area. Komtaru seems to be dealing with that situation ever so slightly. Plenty of infantry dots on the map. Remember, this is 180 control points. That's about 7 or 8 squads you could actually bring to the field as Soviets with that charge ability as well. The Panzer III from Blitz is moving up. It's going to take out this T-60 ever so easily. Very, very aggressive play from Blitz again. There is a T-34 to meet the challenge as well, and I believe the T-34 is the much supremer tank against that Panzer III. With a building just placed in between them, we also have a Pak-38 out too from Blitzmatric, but the terrain seems to be blocking the shot. It isn't firing just yet. Remember, we are seeing what the Soviet players are seeing, so we know that that Pak-38 is there. The T-34 isn't easily going to get it into its sight. It at least shouldn't. That area is very finicky though. Very difficult to sort of see when shots cannot be fired. The terrain is not as high as you may sometimes think. The Panzer IV from Mithras has replaced itself down that main road, and you can see if we just had that elevated area there, it would be very easy to sneak round a bazooka soldier or chuck an AT grenade over. Again, those windows not being utilized. It's such a perfect position for soldiers to be in. Lots of fire moving in the western direction. A highly irregular sort of combat situation to be in. That Tiger's also prowling around. The P3 is very injured. The T-34 from Infernum though, only... No, don't crush him. The Marine is being irritating and blocking, and the tank driver, clearly not an experienced tank driver, is wasting this opportunity to get round and destroy that Panzer III. It destroys the tractor and the house, but not the P3. The P3 is just getting out of there, destroying that arch going round, but no, it doesn't escape. It does not escape the grasp of pure Soviet metal. I can't help but feel sad for the driver of that P3, who was clearly the better driver in that situation, but he doesn't get out. Well, he survives, obviously. We should stick him in a new tank. I don't know, maybe put him in the Tiger tank. That'd be excellent. Promotion for him. We have 222s in the middle, lots of infantry too. In fact, the armor is sort of... There's more and more armor on the field for the Germans, and I'm not seeing any sort of heavy counter from the Soviets just yet. Just lots of like miniguns for the PKPs and stuff like that. I believe a PKP can certainly take out a 222 if it's close enough. Much better than a 50 cal actually, but it's just, again, I want to highlight how important it is to have bazookas near any corner. The 222 easily gets out of there, hiding behind the Panzer IV as well. The Panzer IV is engaging something. What is lurking to the south side of my camera? It's Heine Course T-34-85. Come on, you can do it. You should be able to do it. Get that direct control working. And see, it doesn't look like he's aiming in the correct places. That shot looked like it connected. Is it damaged? It doesn't look like it's damaged at all. Someone does hop out to repair it, so there must be some minimal damage inflicted, maybe to the tracks or something. The Tiger is moving forward, destroying some houses, now taking out the KV-1. Komtaru just hopped inside of it. He is now able to reverse it. That's good. Let's find a safe place to repair this. The Tiger, though, stunning the crew inside, preventing them from reversing. It could be locked into that position for some time. The T-34-85 manages to actually take out the Panzer IV. Finally, the 222 is also there behind, still able to be useful in this battle. As soon as it sees an opening, remember, stick your stuff in reserves. Again, it looks like soldiers were trying to repair the KV-1. They hop inside of it, even though it is just so toasted, completely blackened by the amount of shells it's taken. However that happens, I don't know, maybe like dirt and explosions flicks up from it, but it's an AP shell. I'm sure that's not meant to happen. The T-34-85 takes out the Tiger tank. That was an explosion. That was definitely an explosion, and the turret is fingering around, completely disconnected from the body of it. Holy crap. T-34-85, you have outstanded me. I did not realize you were capable of doing such atrocities. I remember this for future endeavors now. T-34-85, guys, don't underestimate them. Crap, that's powerful. Just how many of you knew that? Today we learned something very valuable about T-34-85. We have Panzerfaust soldiers trying to actually sneak around. This soldier from Comtour decided that guy wasn't dead enough, so he put a few more rounds into his brain. I guess he's been watching too many zombie movies and he's learned to double tap. Or like the double, triple, quadruple, double, triple tap. That was a lot of bullets. A bit excessive, but you can never be too sure about these Panzer Grenadiers. They do have an arc fire on these Panzerfaust. It would be able to more than capable fire over the wall. Another key thing to identify is these weapons and how they fire. That arc fire of the of the Panzerfaust would be excellent for firing over these walls and sticking in key locations. As such, highlighted there, that heroic soldier takes down 3 guys by himself. Again, you've got to move your infantry and keep an eye on them. Don't just send them into completely oblivious situations by yourself, hoping that they will deal with situations. If anything, if you're going to do that, send them on a single right click. That is attack move. Sometimes they don't seem to follow through. They don't seem to recognize soldiers are there. But double tap will almost 150%, almost 150%, might be 145%, but almost always 150% of the time, they will just never attack on a sprint move. That's double right click. We've got soldiers crawling into the houses on the right hand side. I'm a bit disappointed yet again that these buildings aren't being used to their full capacity. We have a HMG team for the Soviets as well, looking upon. In fact, HMG teams are excellent, and the PKP as well. You can see these troops are having a very easy time crossing the farmland. Nothing to stop them in the way because of the amount of cover that the PKP and the heavy machine gun will provide. I don't see these weapons used aggressively. It's something that needs to be taken cautiously when you do it. Advancing your heavy machine gun and PKP and then bringing it back when you no longer need it. We have a veteran Tiger out, which is 8 hero points. Only 2 more hero points can be spent by Seth the Mighty. Presumably that will be spent on either veteran snipers, 2 veteran snipers, or a Brandenburger. I don't believe we've seen any Brandenburger. This area is lacking infantry entirely. We could easily see a Panzerfaust or Panzerschreck soldier move around and get some shots on that tank, but there's just nothing there. Again, these 6 players disappoint me with their bazooka play. I do have a Fun Times 4 video coming on, by the way, just for a quick announcement, which is jam-packed full of a lot of bazooka shots, unintentionally actually, unintentionally. We have a assault brewing up here, an IS-2 with an 85 and a squad of infantry, finally actually putting pressure on that left-hand side instead of being defensive. And also we have another Vet Tiger on this far right, which deals a deadly blow to the PKP. A full squad of Marines is hanging behind a wall. Not the greatest positioning. We need to get that spacing out of our infantry. The IS-2 gunner not doing so well at all. The T-34-85 is gone. That's been damaged. Still repairable. Looks, maybe it can still fire. The IS-2 is taking the shot, but whoa, what we got here? Seth the Mighty snuck up right behind it, and he chucks an AT grenade straight onto the engine of the IS-2. That thing is gone. That's disappeared from the map. We even have a second soldier here as well with a Panzerfaust. That's not needed, my friend. You've already taken it out, and he's going for the T-34-85 to finish that off, but he fails to do that. Heinecore now about to lose his T-34-85 too. A huge loss with that IS-2 gone. On the far right-hand side, this Vet Tiger's moving up ever so slightly. Infernum Cat is doing his own sneak tactics. He needs to get into direct control and fire that, but he gets it. Not the same result. The Vet Tiger is damaged. It can reverse out of this situation. It looks like the crew inside were actually killed. The Marine should have got in there. The Marine could have stolen the Vet Tiger. Oh, we were just way too slow on the ball on that one. We get a bazooka shot into the side of it as well. No impact there. It is really infuriating when those bazooka shots don't penetrate. But the second one goes straight into that front armor and penetrates the Vet Tiger. The Vet Tiger actually, the machine gun, the whole machine gun is still alive in there. Does manage to kill that bazooka soldier. We've got a KV-2 out on the field and a ZSU against a Jagdpanther. Interesting decision. I'm not saying it's entirely possible or impossible, but it might have a hard time. Gonna have a bad time, especially with this Panzer III here as well. The KV-2, that certainly looked like a KV-2 blast. Is that? I hear an ice cream truck outside my house. Not time for ice cream. We're busy commentating on the wars and stuff. The Jagdpanther's taking an interesting decision. There's a bazooka soldier right here, which is just asking to move around. Why won't you move? Someone actually pings it. Sweet. Okay, so come on, move it, do it, get it there. The ZSU has been taken out. It's on fire. It's bound to explode sometime soon. The tank crewman, he's fine. He's fine. Absolutely fine. I would have thought he might have got caught in the explosion. Blitz Matrick has brought a Panther to the field. An excellent anti-tank piece of equipment on tracks. Infernum Cat is losing beloved guys to Miss Micro again. There's quite a few people hooked up behind this wall. We've got some assistance here from Blitz Matrick. It's not supporting Infernum Catters. Remember, these positions of SMG soldiers just behind walls is fantastic. But remember to do that. Just key locations. We got one soldier that's trying to scout out a safe passage. Hopefully for this AT soldier to move up and get a shot. But now we've got German infantry moving in from Seth the Mighty, which is preventing that AT infantry soldier from moving up, from getting a good shot into that Jagdpanther. 222 has worked its way up to this flag point. It needs infantry support. We can't quite see if there's any infantry there because we have hardly any soldiers there. And by hardly any, I mean probably zero according to the map. We got some pinging here. Interesting. Do we want a repair kit? Is that what we want? Is the repair kit essential to the victory of this map? I believe it probably isn't. The Jagdpanther in an unusual position again. ISU 122 moving up. It's going to have a difficult time as well with that Jagdpanther there. But if we can track it, we can take it out. That's all it takes, just to track them. We lose both of our soldiers here. No more AT infantry. He's never coming back. He's gone to Sovngarde. That's where most people have unwillingly been placed. We have an AT infantry soldier here. Interesting place. It's a good place. There's actually 2 infantry soldiers there. So Blitz, if he decides to move up his Panther, is going to get double penetrated. But he shouldn't do that. The Panther is not a close weapon support tank. It engages from a very long distance. That's good. If you want to send in something to support close range, send something a bit more expendable, like a 222. 222s are absolutely perfect for this role. We do have infantry up on this left-hand flag point now. Neutralized, which means nobody's owning points. Free flag zones to free flag zones. The Vet Tiger is coming in much, much closer. It's got to look out for the ISU 122. That's the only prominent danger that the Vet Tiger is going to suffer from. Whether he knows that's actually on the field, I'm not sure. I believe that the ISU 122 still very much hidden. We had an explosion right here from a grenade being thrown. Good grenade. Didn't kill those two guys, but it did get one of them. The statue is still standing up in the center and still in the hands of the Soviets for now. The 222 having minor driving difficulties, and the Panzer III is also up here as well. Unusual place to see vehicles, I must admit, but it works. It's working. The vehicles aren't destroyed. If only we had 80 infantry placed in key locations. The battle is going on this farmland building. The barn is being burnt by fire, which is certainly the most common property of fire. It's hot and it burns, but Heinekorr has actually managed to take control of this set. If he can just get a grenade back there, and by Panzer Grenadier blows off the entire wall as well. So now he's actually capping that zone. That is good for him. We've got enough to take out the Vet Tiger and the 222 and the Panzer III over there. We've got some free riders and a tank commander having mega fun times on the SU-100. Which might have difficulty against the Panther. The Panther is actually risking it. He's going for it. But no die so far. The SU-100 returns fire, and the Panther returns fire, and then, like, totally the SU-100 returns fire, and then, like, the... Oh, shit, it blew up! No! No, the Panther wins. I did not expect that. And just in time to see whatever took this out. By the grace of the gods, it's a T-34-85. It's back and alive, resurrected from the dead. Vet Tiger's found itself a delicious target with that T-34-85, but returning fire is the ISU-122, and the Vet Tiger now knows its field presence. It's reversing, it's accelerating, it doesn't know what it entirely wants to do. Supported by Volkstrom, a sturdy unit to protect your Vet Tiger. Certainly, the KB-2 is also firing its payload. It hit a half-track. Was your own half-track. Wasn't manned. Certainly a dangerous target that needed to be identified and taken out of the picture by the KB-2. Certainly that must have been the case. The Vet Tiger will just have to wait for the next shot. KB-2... or as I have now nicknamed it, the Sprinkler, because it's so inaccurate, does actually this time round get a shot on the Vet Tiger, but it doesn't kill it, just detracts it. Still something, still something. Now we could see the ISU-122 actually get maybe a bit more closer, possibly engage from the side if it can move round safe enough. It certainly is difficult for that to actually happen because of the map. He's just so, like, near his spawn. For him to move around, he would have to expose his side armor, and I believe he would be in range to be shot. Heinekorr in the building. Finally, we've got some Soviet forces inside the windows, covering the central zone, which is currently being captured by the Germans, unfortunately. They need to keep their eye on that one, because now the Germans have 3 points. They're about to take 2 more. We are only left with 2 Soviet flag points left. We got a 222 to deal with on this right-hand side, as well as a Panther. T-60 is coming in to try and do whatever it can. It's got to look out for the Panther, though. That's certainly way too much for the T-60 to handle. We are now seeing this ISU-122 move into position, trying to get a good side shot. Will the Vet Tiger know, though? It doesn't seem to have picked up upon this yet. How can you miss this tank? This is going to be a good aligned shot. Here it comes in. Oh, maybe we'll even see it go through 2 tanks, the 222 and the Vet Tiger. I know it's not a tank, but it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle. I-2 fires it. Was that a HE shot? Don't tell me you just loaded H. Oh, my. Ah, the pickles are biting me. Why? Load your AP shells. Come on, surely you must have reloaded by now. Just take the shot, Heinekorr. does take the shot. It doesn't work. It was very ineffective. The 222 has propped itself up against the building, trying to take out infantry. It's actually... Don't you dare! Oh, are you gunning for it? He is! He's going to try and take on the ISU 122, the 225s, but the 222, there's too many twos! He's trying to hit that engine. The engine is the key thing to destroy. Will he manage to get it? You are better off engaging from the... just directly behind it. He takes out one soldier and then returns to trying to take out this 222, but now it's flipped onto its side by an AT grenade from this SMG soldier. So we don't actually take out the ISU, but this Vet Tiger is still standing strong. We had what sounded like a radio-up barrage right there. Maybe it was flaring the Panther, but the Panther decided to reverse like a good Panther probably should do. There's that radio operator with his special hat and backpack. Also an AT infantry soldier as well. If we can just crawl that up, we might be able to get a good shot on the Panther. The Panther does not want to play with the T-60 at all. It just eliminates that out of the picture straight away. We've got soldiers running into the flag zone. It's certainly down to one flag point. This is not looking good for our fellow Soviets. They started off well, but now it's kind of falling down on them, all over them, inside of them. I don't know what is falling, but it's falling on them hard. The KV-2, I don't know really what this can do. Maybe it can eliminate a Panther. A lot easier than it will be able to eliminate a Vet Tiger. Certainly, it's just whether it can get the shot, and the turret is extremely vulnerable. It's the vulnerable part of the KV-2 exposing itself. It does take the shot. It damages the engine. The Panther is flaming. Kunturu did something excellent here. But what can we make of it? He flares the Panther as well. That's never going to be repaired. That has to explode right now. You ain't getting away. Your engine is damaged. Let's enjoy. And the Panther has done a barrel roll. It might be difficult for the Panther to actually be effective in this position, but I assure you, we've seen stranger things on Men of War Assault Squad. Like, someone had a Sturm Tiger round fired at their Pershing, and the Pershing did a backflip. Apparently, this is a story I've been told. The Pershing did a backflip, took no damage, and landed back on its tracks. And I completely missed it, which would have been amazing for Nuki Fun Times. Just like that grenade, all that hay is really heavy and just weighs those soldiers down. They are crushed by lots of fluffies. We've got a T-60 coming up from Kamteru. An excellent choice to bring to the battlefield. With that Vet Tiger gone, the 222 is also passed away, and the Panzer III up near the church. But the T-60 has to work fast. It's got to work very fast before the Germans bring in more armor, and the T-60 will not be able to deal with such things. No. The T-60 is very much an anti-infantry tank. I suppose it could kind of do what a 222 does and try and destroy the engine from behind, but it's just not fast enough. It's not a speedy vehicle. It's still a good vehicle. I love the T-60. Whoa, what kind of excellent driving skills have we got here? I believe this was the work of Mithras. His engine has been damaged. The hull is destroyed. That actually... I don't know who that was. But whoever it was should be fucking ashamed. Oh my god. People are idiots. So anyway, we've now, by cunning, amazing plans that the Soviets have done, they have managed to take themselves out a Jagdpanther. They are still in this game. We've got this Vet Tiger to worry about. That's the only real concern at the moment, is this Vet Tiger on the far right hand side. We can slowly push up back into the field. Our KV-2 is trying to engage by not firing. It's a different kind of engagement. It's just reloading right now. We've got another T-60 moving up. So many T-60s in this game. The Vet Tiger doesn't care about buildings. Screw buildings. They just get in my way. It keeps moving closer and closer and closer, which is going to improve the accuracy of the KV2. We have an AT soldier around in here in the building. Look at the engagement path, but no, he gets gunned down by the 222 right here. That's an odd angle of engagement, but he had the sector's cover. You can see the infantry soldier inside of it, and that 222 gunner was perfect, protecting his Vet Tiger. There's a Puma on the left-hand side. The T-60 can take that out, but it'll have to get in closer. And if the Puma's not like the most accurate thing either. I'm going to buy a bunch of troops now because I actually want to see how many soldiers can we get. How many soldiers can we get, including charge, and then, like, hopefully before this game ends, I will give them to all these guys, and we'll just see, like, the big, huge Soviet charge. A good final ending to this game, because I believe these Soviet guys need a bit of help. I know Mithras, I know Seth, I know Blitz, all strong players. The players we are spectating now are kind of new to me. Heinekor, Comturu, and Infernum Cactus. Thank you for joining me on this game. It's always freaking awesome to see new players. It kind of gets tiresome. So this is what 168 CP looks like. It's kind of condensed and crowded, but that's way over 100 guys there. So before this game ends, we'll dish them out to players and we'll see what they can do with them. If anything, I don't believe they can win, not with infantry alone. They're going to need strong units to push with. And it's that end game where people are getting hardly any money. We've got loads of sandbags set up here, by the way. Lots of defenses just for that back point. They are managing to take care of the center, so the game's not over yet. We won't be giving them absolutely any infantry until I know for sure that they are bound to lose. I don't want to change the result of the game. Just want to have a bit of fun. We've got a Whirlwind. A fantastic unit, which is like... It just waffles all over every single unit. We've got an AT infantry soldier trying to flank. It's being fired at by a soldier behind the wall, protecting the Whirlwind. Can he get the shot? It's looking not so good. He's stumbling. He finds himself a soldier right behind that wall. You got a Panzer IV backup. I guess this was a Panzer IV that has been repaired. It seems an odd choice to actually bring to the field right now. But it's still a good unit. I wouldn't discount that he's brought it to the field with intentions of it being effective, but I would be getting infantry and light vehicles to tackle a problem right now, because money will be a big issue. There's that Vet Tiger on the right-hand side, initiating almost lockdown if he could just get that point, but still its presence is much feared for the Soviet forces. The KV-2, I guess, has been damaged. It needs repairing. I guess, if anything, the Vet Tiger probably did that damage. In the middle, we have that Panzer IV. Taking minor light AT gun fire. It shouldn't be too concerned about that, though. We also have this PKP. Probably doesn't want to be sitting right next to the AT gun for reasons that I really don't have to explain. The light AT gun is not moving. It's decrewed. It's gone. And the PKP as well is in imminent danger. 94. 281. We just need 6 more points for the Soviets to win. But if they're gonna do that, they've got to take out the armor. I keep saying it, the armor is the only danger on the field right now for the Soviet forces. They've got a KV-2, which its reload time is just way too high for it to actually be able to take out tanks efficiently. A 222 and a Panzer IV moving up on the left-hand side. I think the Germans have nailed it. Maybe that's what's going on in their voice communications right now. They're saying, well, they're having difficulty with vehicles. We've taken out lots of their vehicles, so we can just overwhelm them with vehicles, with light vehicles, 222s, with Panzer IVs. We still got the Panzer IV in the middle, I believe. The KV-2 is trying to very hard. The Sprinkler is trying very hard to take out the Vet Tiger. It's just missing constantly. Well suited to taking out fortifications, I guess, but when it comes to trying to get a precise shot on a heavy tank, it's going to be difficult. So let's start dishing out this infantry now, because these guys are about to lose, put it that way. Interesting to see if this will work. It probably won't, but have lots of infantry. Let's see them all start moving out. to all these points. I've given it across all 3 players. We're even taking fire. Those stray bullets are going straight into these guys, and I think some of the players haven't noticed they've been given the squads. Scatter and disperse into the wilderness, Soviet troops. We still have a few more squads that need to move out. Come on, do it! Press the buttons which make them, like, walk towards death. The map is filled with green globulars. Still that problem with the vehicle presence on the field, but maybe these infantries can do something without putting themselves in the line of fire of those vehicles. Blitz, not skipping a beat at all, has moved up his forces. Just regular Volkssturm. A nice window there to hide in the house and most of the walls that have been blown out. But with all these soldiers that I've just given to the Soviets, they can move up, chuck grenades, and hopefully avoid grenades of their own. No, he doesn't! On the far left-hand side, we've got the big charge and an explosion from a half-track, which was moved in. It's been taken out by a flak from Seth the Mighty. There's also a half-track, a 222, and a Panzer IV. They've totally nailed this down. We've got vehicle issues. We're going to have another charge, because why not? Heinekor's moving into the center. Just proning all his guys, firing at the one single soldier there. We got a Panzer IV to worry about. Not gonna work, though. The Panzer IV is a counter to infantry. On the far left, though, we've got an AT infantry soldier, anti-tank rifle moving around, and a T-34 has been brought into the field, but already the GG's there from Seth the Mighty. Seth, that's just bad manners, saying GG before the game is over. You have no idea what may happen in, like, the next 30 seconds. The T-34 is charging. Will it get the Panzer IV? This is for the game. This is for the game. By the... Oh my... No! The crew's been injured as well. No, look out for the AT grenade. Dodge the AT grenade. Barrel rolled. Oh, the engine has been damaged, and the shot doesn't even... Oh, what a perfect time to lag out. The AT grenade is going straight into the engine, although the engine's already been taken out, but you can never be too certain about these T-34s that just randomly resurrect for no apparent reason. And that's a crash. So anyway, congratulations, Blitz, Seth, and Mithras. You've won this 3v3, 180 control points, command points, CP, whatever you want to call it. Fantastic game it was, lots of action. It was a close game as well, although it did seem somewhat stacked against the Soviets all of the time, but they did manage to pull themselves a respectable 94 points out of 100. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this Men of War game. I'm Anuki.